Vigilante is a story about Dexter Gooding, who has been involved in crime and served time, was deported back to Barbados, and then finds his peaceful village has become a center for crime. And he sets out full of passion and guilt to change that and becomes a vigilante. And in his quest for justice, he meets Amy, a white Barbadian woman who's got the same goal, but she's using very different weapons to get there. In this program, we're going to talk about one of the key issues in the movie, race. And we're going to talk to some of the actors in the movie, some of the people who work behind the scenes, and also just the average person on the street who can tell us about what their ideas are about race and about how this movie will affect people and how we live our lives.
So, being in Barbados and being white, does that give me any privilege? Have I had any benefits or, experiences that have led simply because of my skin color? And I would say in some cases, yes. Sometimes I get better treatment when I go to a store. Sometimes people don't even notice if I walk into a fancy restaurant and I don't get funny looks. Whereas when I go with my friends, they'll say they might not let us in because of what we look like, or if you only knew how things were 10 years ago, we'd never walk in here. But so I would say yes, there are moments where I have advantages for being white.
I was in the store there recently and I was checking for one of these same thing I have on my head, and I couldn't find it. So I turned and I realized that a girl was there with another woman, and I asked her excuse. I asked if she worked here, and I had to say that about 2-3 times. And the first thing she do, she looks at me from head to toe, and then asks me. I tell her I want to get one of the things. You know what I mean? And that's how they do. They first, if I was a white person, for the time she would have automatically deal with me, right? That's how they do it in Barbados. Not all are that way, but white people get more attention fast than a black, especially if you're a tourist, because we are programmed to assist white tourists. Because some people don't even see black tourists as really tourists unless they're, they start talking Yankee or English, right? They get under our respect, but they kind of tend to don't. Black people in Barbados don't like each other like how they used to. They don't love each other. They don't care about each other like before.
I would say they give the white person the edge, because if you walk into a supermarket and there's a white person behind you, the focus is on the white person behind you to get attention, and you will be there and the attendant would be speaking to the white person behind you, and you will be standing up there like, it's like you're invisible. So that's what I've noticed, and it's happening all the time.
White people will have more privileges because people would focus on them more. Like a black person come in and say something and they would just dismiss it, but then when a white person comes, they would focus on that, put other 100% into that person instead of us.
What we have discovered, and in my wife and I, and in talking with other couples who are interracial, is that there are certain things one member does and there are certain things the other member of the couple does. For example, if you're going to the market, the white person stays away from the market because there is a white price and there is a black price in the market. And it's the same if you're hiring a carpenter, a mason, whatever. If there is a white price and there's a black price, then if you want to deal with certain departments, it's better for the white person to go. And I think it's the stereotypes that still surround. If you're black, you're poor, but if you're white, you're rich. So once you're white, you're going to get charged the rich person's price. Once you're black, you're going to get charged the black person's price, regardless of what sector of the economy that you come from.
I'm married 30 years now to a white Canadian, and I would know from 30 years experience of 31 of being with him, the treatment that I would get when we go out. Certain times, if you're going to be seated, he goes forward, and obviously we get a good seat, and certain things where I go forward, I mean, we kind of like play the system, which is not really good because it plays right into what we're really dealing with, racism. You know, if he goes forward for certain things, he's treated better than I would if I go forward, and vice versa. If I go forward for certain things, I might not be ripped off as he might be. So this comes down to all that we are saying. We really gotta stop judging people from our color and our status, you know, because when it comes down, we're all gonna have to die, and we're all gonna end up the same place. We are the same inside. It's just a difference in pigment or in culture. And once we can come together as a people and understand that there's no difference really, and we should stop treating each other with such big difference and love each other, accept each other for our differences and our similarities, I think we'd be a better people.
Well, I think that it does not matter. It also depends on your own attitude, how you relate to individual. So I don't think there is any special privileges that you can say that the Indian usually have here, or special treatment that you would get that Barbadian black would not get, or the Barbadian white would not get, that the Barbadian Indian would get. I do not think so. I think that it is your own relationship with the individual that matters.